Wow, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chad Arms, a.k.a. Chetty Bobby Olembody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode. My name is Tony, a.k.a. Friday the 14th. And to my left is...
And if you didn't already know, you're tuned into the realest podcast in the world.
In the world?
In the world this time.
Universe.
And I am Hot Mike Chance.
Wow. Hot Mike's Chance said so.
That's
in the universe.
Hey, you know what? We're back, man. Over the top, episode 62. Shout out Jason Kelsey.
Boom.
Now
shout out his WrestleMania performance.
Absolutely not. That was horrible. But
that wasn't too good.
Outstanding offensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
This episode is unofficially sponsored by Celsius Energy Drinks and Spot Built Tennis Shoes.
Yep.
Shout out to Spot Built. Remember them?
No, I have
You do not remember Spot Builts.
No.
Okay.
No.
You're going to see it.
Spot Built is?
Where do they sell those at?
Google it. Now, this is back in the days of McGregor. I'm fixing to put y'all up on some games, son.
Spot Built. I remember LA Gears.
No, these were not. These were the antipithis.
Antipithis?
Yeah,
Is that the word?
spell it.
Is that even a word?
You can't even say it, Tony.
There we go again.
You try to pick on me.
Stroke
Here's the
moment for me.
spot. Look at them Spot Builts, dude.
Those look like my own clouds.
They do. Shout out to Spot
Are those
Builts.
like a mix of Sauconys and stuff?
Yeah, they don't look. They don't. I don't remember them being. This is what I remember them being.
Oh wow.
Yeah, those were
Okay.
those
Yeah,
old
those
schools.
Look like old, like if you were an umpire in the '80s, right there. That's what you would wear.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure OJ wore these, so that's. I don't know how good or bad that is, but
Angel Hernandez still wears those.
hell yeah!
And
Shout
he's
out.
the worst umpire in Major League Baseball still to this day.
Yeah,
I thought you said Aaron Hernandez.
No, Angel Hernandez.
not R.I.P. Well, should we?
No.
Not R.I.P. No, he was a bad person. So yeah,
Where have we gone? It's just us three here. It's
yeah.
We ran everybody off. We ran them all off. They're gone.
dude, it's wedding season, and wedding season is it's a lot happening. BJ's a DJ, obviously that's in his name, and wedding season is his busiest time of the year.
Yes.
And our buddy Brandon E is getting married soon, so they're getting everything planned for that.
Yep.
So we got the three amigos here for you guys, man. We are going to talk when wrestling gets real.
Yeah. And it could cover a wide variety of things. I think, like you said, some promos that can get real, some matches that turn into shoot fights in the middle of the match.
Absolutely.
What else did you have? Injuries, yeah, that's a good one for this. It's most of mine that I wrote down on my list were matches where something happened in that match and shit hit the fan, and all of a sudden we got a fight on our hands. And usually it's between two large humans where the poor referee has no chance of victory in that, of separating them.
Yeah.
And whatever that was, there's no chance of victory.
No.
Yeah, somebody got put through a table, Devon Bubba Ray Dudley style, in Chance's house just now.
I have a question before we get started.
Go ahead.
How old were y'all when y'all realized that wrestling was scripted?
Man.
2 hours ago.
Yeah.
No, man, golly, dude. I thought wrestling was real well into my, I'd say, 14.
Yeah, it had to be
Attitude Era.
through the Attitude Era.
I thought you couldn't tell me the Attitude Era wasn't real
Yeah.
until like I was in like high school, and then I don't even remember what it would have been specifically.
It had to be Beyond the Mat.
Probably,
I think
when Beyond the Mat.
That's what
'Cause
solidified it for me.
I always got told, people that didn't like wrestling always tell me that shit's fake,
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. But then the more that I got into it, the more I started saying, "Oh well, it seems like it could be." But then I started reading more into it, and I was like, "Man, it's just male soap opera."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's soap operas get millions and millions of watchers. This is the male equivalent of it, and I'd probably say it about the same time a teenager, because like you said, when you were little, when Earthquake smashed Hogan, that was...
I thought it was real, bro. I mean, like, I wrote Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And he sent like letters back to everybody. I remember my sister told me when she let me know when it came in.
Yeah.
We read it. Like, I thought you couldn't tell me Hulk Hogan didn't write me that.
Did you know that was just to capture your address so they could mail
Oh,
you
100%
WWE
now, yeah, but back
magazines?
then,
Give me that.
I would have been fine with that because I got Sports Illustrated. I was a collector. I mean, I think that's what I started collecting first was Sports Illustrated magazine and like cards.
Yeah.
But I would go through and look at all the Sports Illustrated and read all the articles, and I'd take out cool pictures and put them on my wall, like Jordan or Barry Sanders or something.
Dude, I would have gladly taken those
yeah.
WWF magazines back in the day. Dude, there's so much. Oh, the gimmicks in those.
Yeah.
It was just like East Bay. It was the East Bay magazine, but for wrestling. And East Bay was the greatest magazine ever that I really could never pick anything out of.
Yeah, they were always fun to look at, though.
Oh, yeah. It was always great. It was like the Sears catalog, too.
Yep.
You could put that right there in that category. Well, who wants to start this episode off? Well, I guess first off, let's go through our sponsors here. We got Revolution One Media. We got Troubled Spirits. We got the cast of characters here in wrestlers. We got the Natural Disasters with Jimmy Hart, Multiple Mean Genes, Flying Brian Pillman, The Stinger, Sanchez Turner, and Mr. Meat Sauce himself, Virgil, here in attendance with us.
Let's go.
And so,
sorry, I'm looking up one of these articles about what we're talking about.
Oh,
so
okay. No, go ahead. You want to start one off?
This is what kind of gave me the idea for this. I was just scrolling through Facebook and saw Yokozuna almost almost unalive a jobber with the bonsai drop.
I think you sent this in the group text. He literally smashes the dude's face.
The jobber, I don't know the jobber's name, but he was apparently talking back to Mr. Fuji, and Yokozuna didn't take too kindly to that, and dropped all of his weight. And then after it happens, you can hear him like telling the referee to get Yokozuna off of him because he's sat there.
Just sitting on it.
Yeah, he sat there a little while until Mr. Fuji told him, go ahead and jump off.
That's wild. And another clip, jumping off something totally different. I remember worst gimmick. I think it was one of the episodes we did where you talked about this dude that would take a bump through the ropes.
Yeah, Chris Hamrick.
Yeah, I just saw a new video of him against the 1-2-3 Kid where Waltman like acts like he trips his and dude legit flies through the middle of the rope flat backed.
Yep.
And lands on the outside of the ring like completely flat backed.
That's insane.
Dude, it's insane. But yes, that's a good one to start off the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
just crushing.
Yokozuna bonsai drop. I would not want to be under that gimmick or not.
And he'd done that. He'd done that to a few jobbers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some of those bonsai drops looked very like it crushed somebody's sternum.
Yep.
To be a jobber in the late 80s and early 90s and mid 90s was no fun.
No.
I mean, I'll throw one right out. We've talked about it before where Perry Saturn and Mike Bell, that whole instance where that shit got real in the middle of a match where Mike Bell accidentally drops Saturn on his head on a suplex and then Perry Saturn just goes absolutely ape shit and beats the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And then is forced to do the gimmick with the mop the rest of his career with the WWE.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a crazy one. The one that comes to, there's so many that come to mind for me with this, but the one that I was talking about y'all off camera, I got one of the people wrong in it. So the one I was talking about was Arn Anderson and Sid Vicious, where there was a stabbing.
That's yes.
And I guess they got that spawned because Sid hated Flair. This was 93. Says the year was 93. The two men involved in the bloody melee were Sid Vicious, Arn Anderson. It was in England too.
Overseas.
They went to a bar, got fucked up. They started fighting, and ended up being a stabbing.
Yeah,
because of it. And I remember watching Sags of the Nasty Boys, which if y'all don't ever see any shoots of him, they're great. He's a good storyteller. They were on that tour. They weren't there when that happened, but somebody called them asking them what happened, and they didn't even know about it. And he was telling the story about what it was, and that's what it was, dude. Like they fucking stabbed. Like one, I think I can't remember if Arn stabbed Sid or vice versa.
I think it was where Sid stabbed Arn.
Really?
Yeah, but like
I could see Arn Anderson just pulling a blade out and just slicing someone up.
Yeah, I could see Sid doing that too.
But 100%. Psycho Sid, that's how he got the name.
One of the instances that would go under this category would be the Stan Hansen and Vader match over in New Japan in 1990, where shit hits the fan as soon as Hansen's walking into the ring, swinging around that big ass bull rope, and catches Vader in the nose and breaks Vader's nose. Not even starting the match yet. Yep. Vader has a broken nose. So then, in retaliation, hard shots are given in, and his eye pops out in the middle of the match.
Yep, sure enough.
And he has to push it back in and just... Yeah, Vader is involved in a lot of these instances that you can look up for this category. That he's just a tough motherfucker. To have your eyeball legit fall out and you just pop it back in there. And the swelling's so bad, that's the only thing that keeps the eye in. Mm-hmm. That's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah, he was involved with one with Ken Shamrock also.
Yep, that's on my. I've got that one on my list too.
Yep. And then he also slapped or punched. I guess he slapped a Kuwait TV show host.
That's what I was fixing to say.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Taker was on the show with him, and it was Good Morning Kuwait, and it was something along the lines of saying shit wasn't real. Mm-hmm. And they kept him over there, like they didn't know if he was going to get to come back to the States. Like he was in.
Oh shit!
They had him like, I don't know if he was in Kuwait jail. I mean, I'm assuming he was, but I first heard about that when Pritchard told about it in one of the pods that he did early on podcast with Pritchard and them. But that's crazy too. And I was just watching something where Taker was like recalling that day. I don't know if it was on. I don't know what it was on. Maybe
was it his
on,
podcast?
Maybe. I didn't even know Taker had one until like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's mainly Patreon. You got to pay to listen to the good portions of it.
Yeah.
He throws out like 10-minute, 15-minute clips.
That's smart with it being Undertaker and him.
Yeah.
See, because the thing is, dude, like you got to think Undertaker went 30 years and never broke character. So he's got all this endless amount of stories that he hasn't got to tell. You know, you see him on Biography and like Rivalries, him getting to do like interview stuff,
and he's so natural at it too, especially like the Broken Skull episodes that he's done.
But the Vader Kuwait shit was crazy, bro.
Well, didn't Randy Orton have something like that over there? Didn't he go off on a
seems like
overseas over in Kuwait or something like that too? A younger Randy Orton. Just another one of those instances where the reporters saying, "Oh, this isn't real," and kind of what was it? Dutch Schultz that's the most famous for slapping the Geraldo Rivera looking dude. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
it says that Randy Orton loses it after a Mexican reporter calls him fragile.
Oh, okay, that's yeah. Yeah, I mean, where do these little reporters get I mean, these guys are huge.
Trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, get those clicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the clicks.
Yep. Brock Lesnar is also someone that's involved in quite a few of them.
I had one of his on my list.
Actually, there was one with Randy Orton. I don't think it was an actual shoot. I think it was planned, but he delivered some mean elbows.
Is that where he busted him open and everything?
Yeah.
That's when Jericho met Lesnar behind the curtain, and Jericho was ready to.
Yeah.
He's like, he's probably going to kill me, but I was going to go down fighting.
Yep.
I remember watching that though, and it looked like it. That may have been one of those live streams that we did at one time. Do you remember that?
Which one?
When Lesnar busted open Randy Orton with the forearms or the elbows and everything.
Shit was brutal, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Busting them open.
I've got one from Brock Lesnar too, from when him and Braun Strowman at the Royal Rumble. Strowman catches Lesnar with a knee to the side of the head, and Lesnar, in retaliation, throws a right hand across right up against Strowman's head, and you could definitely tell that affected him because he's got the shuffle feet going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, going back to what we were talking about with like Vader and Kuwait and Randy Orton and the Mexican reporter. There's the whole deal with David Schultz and John Stossel, where John Stossel was instigating. It was already being assumed that wrestling wasn't real at the time. This is the mid-'90s, early mid-'90s, I think.
Yeah, the early '90s. It had to be late '80s, early '90s, because that's when he was with the WWE, and Vince McMahon told him to go out to talk to the guy.
Yeah, and it said and he hit him twice, and then of course he
knocked the shit out of him.
Yeah, that whole thing. There's a whole Dark Side of the Ring episode on David Schultz. It's really good too.
Yeah, I called him Dutch Schultz for some reason.
You're thinking about Dutch Mantel.
I am. I just mixed them together.
That's what threw me off because you just talked about that.
Yeah,
I was thinking David Schultz.
No, yeah, I had the last name right, just the first name.
Halfway there.
Yeah,
meet me halfway, dude.
Meet me halfway.
And of course, anything. I mean, you can do 4 separate interactions when wrestling gets real with New Jack.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You got him on there, Chance?
I got it. Yeah.
You're the ECW guy. That's why
you're talking because I just watched my favorite episode of Dark Side of the Ring is the New Jack episode.
Really?
In the Brawl for All.
Yeah.
But the first one with New Jack is with Mass Transit, right? You want to speak about that? About how
Oh yeah.
That kid was he like
17? Yeah, that they didn't know at the time. He lied to the booker, or lied to the promoters, and New Jack just I don't know what all he done to him, but he tore him up.
What I saw from the episode, and I've watched it so many times, this kid came up to New Jack and said he wanted to get some offense in, and New Jack took that as an offensively because I guess like you're not supposed to do that. It's just an unspoken rule.
Yeah.
Well, then he said he wanted to get color. So New Jack was like, okay, this motherfucker wants to get color. Okay.
He bladed him, didn't he?
So he gets a scaffolding knife. It's like this big. And he said he jigs him a couple times and then nothing's happening. So he literally takes the blade and scrapes it across his forehead. To where this kid is 17 years old. Now he's 500 something pounds. He's humongous. His dad's in the crowd yelling, stop the fight, stop the fight. He's bleeding uncontrollably.
Yeah.
Then Mustafa or somebody power slams him after that. New Jack gets on the mic and says, I hope this motherfucker bleeds to death. Woo to woo. New Jack goes to court for like aggravated assault, and they threw it out because he knew his lawyer got him to prove it basically to where the kid knew going in what he was getting into.
Yeah. Yeah, you're saying.
And he lied about his age. Now there's no way that would have worked.
Yeah,
this is 94, 5, something like that. So that was one of them. But New Jack has so many like that, bro. He had that one. He had the one with Vic Grimes.
Yep, where he threw him off the scaffolding.
Yeah, him and Vic Grimes had a match where Vic Grimes was supposed to take a bump off this high-ass thing. He got scared. Jack was like, we're going either way. We're already up here. And Vic Grimes, they fell, and Vic Grimes fell on New Jack's head, and his head bounced off the concrete, and it cracked his skull. Mm-hmm. And he lost sight in one of his eyes, and he said it's fucked him up for his life.
Yeah.
They had a rematch later, and that's when they had the scaffold match, and he tried to throw him off into the floor and kill him.
Yep. Yeah, he on purposely missed the scaffolding.
Yeah.
First he hit him with the stun gun.
Yeah, he tased him.
Yeah. And then Vic Grimes was saying, I can't feel my legs. And he said, you ain't going to need them. And just...
What?
New Jack, bro, you got to watch that episode.
Holy shit.
That's the second you could do an episode just on New Jack, bro. That's the second time that happened.
God.
With Vic Grimes. Vic Grimes just ends up dislocating his ankle is all that happens. Dude, have you seen the footage?
I've seen the footage of it, yeah. I've seen that
It's insane, bro. So that happens. Then there's a thing where he fights this old ass man in some hotel, Gypsy Joe. This dude's like our dad's age, probably 70, right? His whole gimmick was he don't sell nothing. New Jack starts hitting him, nothing. He don't sell it. Then New Jack just literally starts beating the total fuck out of
with
this
chairs, just swinging.
And there's 40 people at this place.
Yep.
And then there was this. There was that time. Then the fourth time was another independent promotion with some dude named Crimson something. This kid that was like, I want to get some offense in. And same thing. New Jack said, no, bro, no. He literally in that match, and I'm not even exaggerating. There was 15 people in this. It looked like a hotel too. Bro, he starts literally pulling a blade out and stabbing him in the neck.
He stabbed him for each person that was in there just about.
He said they told me. They said I stabbed him 16 times. I counted. It was only 9. He stabbed that man 9 times, bro. To where he goes to court. He goes to jail for it. They call the cops and say a black man's stabbing this white guy at this hotel. He goes to jail for it. The Crimson dude, comes in to talk to him in jail and says, Jack, why don't we run this as an angle and we can make all this money? And New Jack was like, all right, I'll do it. If you got to get me, you got to go and say that you agree to this. He drops the charges, and New Jack moves out of Florida and never talks to him again. Jeez. That's 4 different instances when wrestling gets real, just with New Jack that are documented.
Good God. Yeah, that are documented.
But I mean,
wow. Gee,
New Jack is no longer with us, but that shit's crazy, bro. I'm telling you, that's the episode in itself. I mean, we just talked about the majority of his stuff, but
hence why we need to do like episodes on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we need to do more ECW. We ain't done any ECW episodes.
Yeah,
either,
that's
I know Chance. That's Chance's wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's all Chance right there.
But yeah, New Jack, man, That's wild. He's Mr. when wrestling gets real.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Every match with him is real.
But just like with them,
why would you go up to him and say, "I want to get color"? To New Jack.
Because he's a dumb kid, bro. He was a mark. He was a kid. He was a mark, and
to New Jack.
You don't know how to read a room, bro. And then not to mention
the hard way.
The dude ended up dying. Like the kid ended up dying like 3 or 4 years later for complications for like what's that? The lap band, sir.
When you gastric bypass.
Yeah, he ended up dying like 20 years old or something.
Holy. Sorry about that.
But yeah, that's that mass transit incident is like that's the most known of the New Jack stuff. But that all 4 of those are just insane, bro. You got to watch that episode, Tony.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's really good. Especially anyone that Cornette's a part of, I'm all for it. He's a big part of that one. But like Vader is in a lot of these too.
Yeah, you talked about the Shamrock one. I had one with our boy right here, John Tenta.
And Vader?
No, not with Vader, but the guy with Koji Katawa over in Japan.
Oh, Japan, okay.
It was on the Dark Side of the Ring episode where they talked about it, where the guy was absolutely no-selling, trying to poke Tenta in the eyes during the match. And he was another sumo wrestler. And then got out of the ring and told the whole got on the mic, said the whole crowd, told the crowd that wrestling's fake, it's all scripted, and I guess Tenta went to the back and beat the fuck out of him.
Shout out John Tenta, dude. Earthquake's the fucking man, dude.
That man right there.
I'm so hype. I got them on 2K.
Oh, did you get
done a really good career?
Yes.
Into, and I have the natural disasters.
Well, shout out Squints for being on 2K now too,
dude. Shout out to the guy. Our guy.
Hold on, I got to find his name on here. I'm gonna find his name.
So the John Tenta is that's a good episode too.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my. That episode's so sad. That ending of that episode where
it's just sad.
Dude, come on.
And you know what's crazy? Earthquake died. He was our age. He was 40 years old.
That's insane.
He looks look how old he looks.
Yeah.
Look at him. He looks 55.
His whole life. He's like
his whole life.
He's
yeah.
like Arn Anderson.
He looked when he was 22. He looked 52.
Yeah.
I
Arn
can't find
Anderson's
it.
the
But like
same
there
way.
was the Vader. This isn't even on the list, but there was the Vader and Shawn Michaels. I think it was SummerSlam.
Yes. That's another
when
one
Shawn
where
Michaels was
kicks
like,
him in the head.
Move, you piece of shit! Like talking shit to Vader.
I'll have to find that out in the future. We'll get your name out there. The guy that made Chad's character. One that sticks out to me that always scared the shit out of me when I was a kid was the whole Jake the Snake Macho Man feud. Superstars of Wrestling 1991. Macho Man tied up in the ropes, and Jake gets loose. The new snake Lucifer. It was a cobra, I believe.
Oh, dude, I hated that. That's the one that came out of at the wedding thing.
Yeah.
And it was so much scarier than Damien.
Yeah.
The Damien's scary. It was a big ass, but them kind of snakes that sit up.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they said they devenomized the snake before this instance, but when he got it to bite Macho Man on the arm, and dude, it says it lasted over 30 seconds because the snake would not let go. Jake couldn't get it to let go. Nothing, and Macho Man ended up in the hospital with a 105-degree fever.
Well, probably. I mean,
from the snake bite and everything.
Probably. I'm sure he was doing steroids. So
and probably the coke, the snake
all
bite.
All that with the heart rate. Yeah, your blood pressure's gonna go up.
Yeah.
And
then the snake died too. Right after that too.
Did they put it down?
No, it just died because I'm probably from the cocaine, steroids, and all that stuff. That
I didn't know that.
I didn't either, but
plot twist.
Yeah, but it said like 12 days later after the bite, the snake itself died, which was probably.
I think they put the snake down and they just didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
We could blame it on Macho's blood, probably.
Yeah,
too.
I mean it was just pure Slim Jim in there. But you know what's wild? The wildest thing about that story you just told, that was on Superstars of Wrestling.
Yeah.
Which means it was not a pay-per-view.
No.
It was before
It was
Raw was a thing. It was a taped show that they aired.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like that was live.
No.
They chose to air that after the fact. Can you imagine now? Hearing, would they even be able to do that now?
I don't think so.
Probably no. I don't think with the animals and all that kind of stuff, I don't think you can get
Even
away
though
with
the animal's biting the human, they'd say it was cruel to the animal because you're forcing it to do that, which...
But you were binding a man that was highly doused with steroids and cocaine, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Slim Jims.
There was a lot of that stuff, man. Like a lot of especially back then, you know, And there's so much that's probably shoots that we've watched that we didn't even know was shoots.
Like a lot of Steiner, when I was doing research for this too, a couple Steiner Brothers matches came up during that, which makes a whole lot of sense because they were extremely stiff.
Oh, them and the Road Warriors both, bro.
Yeah. What about the whole Kurt Angle Daniel Puder incident from SmackDown?
Hey, Daniel Puder, he had Kurt Angle's number.
Dude, he was going to snap his arm off.
Dude, he could have. And imagine if that. What year was that?
2001.
Imagine if he snapped Kurt Angle's arm.
Oh, dude,
that was it. Think about everything that happened with Kurt Angle. He was only in the 3 years in.
That's crazy.
And if he'd have snapped his arm, bro, he'd have been out 2 years.
Yeah, and that was for Tough Enough.
Yeah,
a thing for Tough Enough. But Daniel Puder apparently was a bad motherfucker in his own right.
Yeah.
Imagine what that receipt would have been like.
Well, you know what his receipt was? That Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That following with Hardcore Holly,
Yep.
Benoit, and Guerrero
Yeah.
when he got caught in the ring with him. Oh, that Chop City.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was his receipt.
What you got, Chance?
I got one that's kind of a hot topic right now with CM Punk and Jack Perry.
Oh, dude.
Not much of a realness there, but they hyped it up.
No, it's you're not missing anything.
So what happened?
So apparently, so CM Punk was over the new show that AEW was doing. That was kind of like his show, and I think Jack Perry and them was wanting to do some kind of angle with some real glass, and CM Punk and some of the producers was like, no, use fake glass. Well, whenever they went over to England, Jack Perry was wrestling. Was it Hook?
Yes,
Hook, and he did a back body drop onto a car, and then he's like, "Oh, look at that, real glass. Go cry me a river," and then taking that toward CM Punk.
Oh, he says that to the camera.
Yeah,
right into the camera.
Yep, yeah. Because CM Punk told him to use fake glass and stuff, and which is smart.
Not just CM Punk, Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, a bunch of people.
All the producers.
So it was a middle finger to the production staff.
Yeah. Yep. So then I guess whenever Jack Perry got back to the footage that we saw recently, CM Punk comes up to him. They kind of have a verbal altercation, and then it turns into, I wouldn't say a fully physical altercation, or it wasn't a very long one. Yeah.
Put him in
it was just a quick altercation, but it blew up a lot. Jack Perry was suspended. Punk pretty much quit the company over it.
And they made a big deal about putting that footage out.
Yeah, He's like he was going to help them.
Tony Khan said that he feared for his life.
Oh my god!
And then Tony Khan, it's really
AEW.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of AEW at all. I'm not.
It started out so cool.
It
man.
did.
I watched the first 6 months and reviewed it on the old channel.
And I agree what Kevin Nash says full-heartedly. None of these guys, you can tell a difference between AEW's wrestlers and WWE's wrestlers just in the bodies of the wrestlers themselves. Mm-hmm. Look at the wrestlers' bodies over in AEW and look at the bodies of the wrestlers in WWE. You can tell the guys that are doing it every day and taking the shit serious.
Oh, and he's saying WWE.
Yeah, he's saying.
Cornette loves AEW.
Dude, there's nobody that really physically that stands out in AEW.
I don't even know. I mean, I know that just people you've told me that's in. I know Bryan Danielson's over there.
Yeah, but he's not a physical.
No. But I'm just saying people that I would know, like MJF and stuff. But
even Randy Orton, Randy Orton. Now Randy Orton looks like he's in the best shape of his life right now, and he's. What, our age or older?
He's our age,
yeah. I mean, the dude's insane.
Because in 2002 when he debuted, he was like 21. So he's maybe a couple years older than us.
Yeah. I mean, in the best shape of his life.
Yeah.
Now, he may have a little help, but still, he looks great.
They can't do that now, though, can they?
They can stretch it a little bit, probably. They toe the line. It's like baseball.
It depends on who you are.
Yeah, exactly. That too.
But man, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of that, stuff, that shoot stuff that went on, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, even into the promos, like the Punk. We talked about the Punk promo in the promos episode, but there's that and the Miz and Daniel Bryan, and then there's the certain.
Sometimes it gets hard to tell what is real, because I think in a lot of the promos there's some kind of realness to it, but it's sometimes
there's line blurring.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell whenever they're out there just winging it, or I think sometimes people overstep the line, like with Shawn Michaels and the Sunny Days comment toward Brett. Like, who knows? I mean, that could have, because we talked about the Montreal screw job and how he thought that was a work. So if that's a work, you don't know what's real and what's not.
Well, it's another one too. Again, it's from one of the episodes on Dark Side, but Bash the Beach 2000, where Vince Russo says that Hogan didn't, like, he laid out a match. Hogan didn't want to do it. Long story short, Jeff Jarrett lays down in the ring.
Yep.
Hogan steps on. They said all that was planned. Bischoff even co-signs that it was planned that Hogan lays down, or Hogan gets the championship because he lays down. They leave, and then the promo Vince Russo cuts was apparently not anything that Hogan and them agreed to. So there's the whole thing where Hogan gets on the radio the next day and goes off on Vince Russo, and Vince Russo changes it to where the real championship belt is to Booker T.
Yeah.
That looked like some Wrestling Gets Real shit, because that was I believe that Vince Russo just went into business for himself.
Yeah.
Because he was pissed off at Hogan because he didn't like Hogan. But that was another one of those things where it was like, during that time frame, dude, that shit happened, especially in WCW, man.
Yeah.
The shit was so unorganized. And I'm sure in ECW, it was already, there wasn't a lot of real selling, like wrestling, except for like the luchadors, like Mysterio and all those guys when they were there.
Yeah.
All the other stuff was just, let's just beat the fuck out of each other. You know?
One that I saw, I'm not familiar with the wrestlers at all, but one that kept coming up, it was one from here recently. It's down in AAA, I think, a girl named Sexy Star, and one girl, she was from TNA here recently. But it's like she legit, like, the Sexy Star girl breaks the other girl's arm, like, legit in the middle of the match.
Holy shit.
Something Marie. Something she's I don't know. But like legit, like, snaps her, but that Sexy Star girl has not wrestled since then. Like, Conan is in charge of AAA.
Rosemary?
Yes, that's it, Rosemary.
Yeah. Shout out Rosemary, whoever that is.
But yeah, like, legit, like, snapped her arm in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
Like, Daniel, like, she legit Daniel Pewtered Kurt Angle.
She went through with it, though.
Yeah, she snap, crackle, popped it.
Yeah.
You got any more on your list?
Well, I have another Brock Lesnar, him and Kurt Hennig fighting in the airplane plane ride from hell.
Dude, can you imagine how terrifying that would have been?
Yep.
Dude, that whole story is insane.
Another darker side of the ring episode.
Yeah, dude. But that I just watched that one again the other day, and just the amount. Just imagine if that plane would have went down. How many people were? The wrestling business was in that plane.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the time, but but that was another one, like, between Brock and then last one I'll say is Vader and it would have been Cactus Jack at the time in WCW when Vader was like for real punching Cactus Jack in the face.
Yeah, bro.
Where Mick Foley talks about it in one of his docs about how Vader fucked him all the way up, and of course Mick Foley liked getting hit, and he liked the kind of stuff, but. All that kind of stuff. The Wrestling Gets Real too, with like the King of the Ring '98.
Yeah. I
mean, you can say whatever you want to say, bro, but when Undertaker throws him off the fucking sail,
I thought
there's nothing. There's no way. Even if it's like they knew they were going to throw each other off, like, but you're throwing a person higher than the roof of this house that we're sitting in.
And the fact that he just barely catches that table enough.
Yes.
To bounce off of it. It's just...
It's insane, dude.
The first time I saw it, I legit thought that he was dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt. And then...
That's it, he's dead. Jerry the King.
Yeah. I mean, it's the greatest response to that ever. As terrible, but recall seeing that, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and then, I mean...
And for him to get stretchered out and then come back...
And then get choke slammed and go
through the top of the roof again,
which wasn't supposed to happen.
No, and the chair hit him in the face, or hit him in the mouth whenever he comes.
His tooth coming up through his lip. I mean, it's just.
Well, then you had the fucking brawl for all. That's the worst. That's the best and worst example of when wrestling gets real, because people got seriously injured. Dr. Death's career got ended.
Yeah, didn't even have a match in maybe 1 or 2 matches before that, and then
Bart Gunn's career got ended.
Yeah,
with
Butterbean.
With Butterbean, because it was they were mad. They can say whatever they want, but they were mad that he beat Dr. Death.
Yep.
And they made him think he was going to beat Butterbean, and they got him. They lined him up, and Butterbean almost killed him.
Yeah, dude, that was so bad.
But this has been a cool one, man. I mean, this is something different, but I think we touched on a lot of cool ones, and that's another one we can come back to.
Yeah, well, because there's a bunch of one that just popped into me that what was it? ECW One Night Stand, where JBL beat the shit out of the Blue Meanie.
Oh yeah, that shit got real quick.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
I love that pay-per-view, by the way.
Yeah,
that we could do an episode on that. There's certain pay-per-views I think would be fun to do an entire episode on.
Oh yeah,
just because of how epic they are. That's one of them to me. That's not like a big WrestleMania or something.
Yeah,
but ECW. What year was that? 2005. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
that one alone. That pay-per-view was crazy, dude. Just the energy with it, like. The hostility between ECW and the wrestling guys.
Cena versus Van Dam in that one.
Yep, and they hated Cena, boy. God, they did.
Yep.
But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all tapping in with us on the episode, man.
62 episodes.
62 in, man. Shout out to Jason Kelsey once again, and we'll be right back again next week, and with some more fire for y'all. And y'all just stay tuned, man. Sponsors, hit them up. Trouble Spirits. Revolution One Media.
All the guys here.
All the fellers.
We out this motherfucker.